Dear Diarrhea, diary full of shit. Just play along with myself and I. No one else. Yo, I'm so legit. Um, God damn. I forgot to mention this. That's it. That's what I forgot to mention. I'm seriously thinking about like once a month prank calling Mrs. Poop Emoji. And don't do anything inappropriate, but the thing is, I don't have those numbers anymore, to her window. Because generally, if you called that number, they would pick up. So, and if I just call and I say that, is Mrs. Poop Emoji available? May I ask who's calling? I should just, so I'll really fuck with her. So now I want somebody else to answer. May I ask you, or yes, I'll say, is Mrs. Poop Emoji there? This is her boyfriend. Just shit. And like I said, just anyway. So, Mrs. Poop Emoji, your boyfriend's on the line? She probably, I don't know if she's got a man or whatever, but. So then she'd pick up, maybe she'd be like, hey, Tom, or whatever her boyfriend's name is. She's probably dating a Tom or a Harry or a Walter. Or a Budrick. Or a Jerry. Yeah. Probably lounges around in his boxers all day in the house. Been wearing the same boxers for the last week, they're all stiff and shit, That seems like the type of dude that she would have in her life. But so she'd pick up and I'd just be like, and then click, hang up. I just might do that. But I gotta let some time go by, and I just might make it a habit of once a month prank calling her. Could I send her a gift? Or am I taking that too far? Sounds to me like she would probably misunderstood that. Well, I'm trying to woo you, Because that's not the case. I mean, I'm sure she was, plickety-plack when she was younger, Yeah, she's kind of cute, I guess, She's kind of fat. She had a fat face. Like she had chubby cheeks. But yeah. Oh well. But I didn't mess with Ladybug too much. That'd be funny, man. So, I don't know how I would go about that. Because there's this one girl who got a bunch of flowers. They were blue. I think they were custom because they were either a rose or a tulip. Yeah, so, yeah, somebody sent her like, God, it was like 50 of them. I just don't know. Because I'd send her some Play-Doh. It's too bad I threw away that care package, or I'd just mail her that. I just don't know how I would get it up to her. You know, have it mailed to her, you know. Have some sort of like courier service where the guy walks up and like hands it to her if she was working that day. Walmart was funny about that, you know what I mean? Like you couldn't give gifts, you know. Anyway, I'm just like, and she, you know, she'd probably think it was flattering. She'd probably think, you know, I was doing it because I had a crush on her or have a crush on her or whatever. It's like, nah, just, you know, I ain't got no friends in my life. I figured maybe I'd just harass you. You know, prank. Well, my future bestie, Cool Breeze, eventually we're going to be best buddies. Best buddies. So maybe I'll contact him today. He's 5'9". Like I said, Katie Boo, I'm 5'7". You're like, is this your little guy? Shut up. This is my little husband, yeah. As you can see, I'm like 4 inches taller than her. As long as I'm at least 1 inch taller, I think we're good. It is pretty short, though. And that's like with my shoes on, you know, I'm a little bit taller, but the rest of the world wears shoes too, so. Anyway, boy, now I'm thinking about that. That would be cool. You know, do it with class. Prank call Mrs. Poop Emoji. Damn, it'd be nice to send her some sort of Play-Doh or something. I know, Katie Boo, you're like, what's with the Play-Doh? Well, I guess a driver gave her some Play-Doh, and it was, I don't know where he got it. And I don't know why he gave it to her, but it was there. And I said, what is this, a snack? You know, she's like, oh, some driver gave it to me. I was like, whatever. And she had helped me out a few times with my PTO, because I got like 40 of those every year. 40 fucking PTO days. 40 fucking PTO days. You know, you just, you know, call ahead. You know, I feel like taking a 4-day weekend. You know? Whew. It'd be nice if I still worked for Walmart. But I said, you know, what's your favorite kind of Play-Doh? Or I said, what's your favorite flavor of Play-Doh? And she was like, no, you know. I'm like, it's going to happen. You're going to show up to work one day and there's going to be a tub of Play-Doh. Man, the care package. I had glue stick, you know, for like chapstick, flavored chapstick. I'm not saying you talk too much. But like I said, you know, you can't really. An eraser, you know. Elmer's glue, you know, for a quick shot, you know, to get you through the day. I was going to like put, you know, a note with it, you know. explaining everything, you know, and like type it out so she could read it. So I used to have her in tears. She would laugh. So she said under her voice, she's like, "You're fucking crazy." Oh, I should have said, Ladybug doesn't talk to me like that. She's not abusive. She's the sweetest little girl. She's a sweet thing. She had a bunch of like little rubber animals. And I said, "Are those yours?" She's like, "No, those are ladybugs." I said, "Oh, I like those, especially the panda bear. Sometimes I think Ladybug is a panda bear." Because she was just this sweet little angel. So they had this little snappy button thing. I walked up there and I said, "You know, what's this for your ADD?" And I said, "I don't have ADD. I just like the pills." Somebody in the back laughed, like a gut laugh, like, they weren't expecting that. Yeah, she would always call me by my last name. So, you know, my name is first name Super, last name Man. So she'd always say, "Hey, Man," you know. And she'd say, "Do you know where you're going?" And I said, "Well, usually people tell me where I'm going, you know," and I meant that but she got the humor because, you know, she said, "How you doing?" You know, and I said, "Well, I woke up dirt side down this morning and the sky wasn't on fire, so that's good." And anyway. And my supervisor, actually, she needed to talk to me for something. She said, I don't remember what she said exactly, but she's like, "I need to talk to you." And I said, "I just bet you do." And she kind of looked at me like, "Oh," you know, and I was like, "I didn't mean it like that, but, you know." "Well, I just bet you do, woman." Anyway. Um, and when we first took our pictures, that HR chick who, you know, with the good ass, like she had the best ass in that office. It just sounded weird, but, you know, because she would wear them spandex pants every now and then and stuff, and this was like, God damn. And she had a really dickable face, and she's just cute. And she literally made me horny. You know, she didn't stop working there. You know, shortly before I was fired. But you know, it's like, I'm not even joking. I'm not just saying that. You know, it's like my dick would start to tingle. You know, when I like saw her. So, but anyway, I know it's pathetic, but you know, she took my picture. So I'm all, you know, okay. Took a picture, and then I did like a side view, or no, this. Anyway, I turned around and said, "Okay, now take a picture of the back of my head." You know, it was hilarious. It was a riot. There's not really many, you know, broads out there that get that kind of reaction. You know what I mean? It's like usually you have to make the effort, like, hey, this girl's pretty, you know? Woo! But with her, it was like, damn. This is like a biological response, like breathing. Shit. I know, that makes me such a creeper. But, hey, whatever. Really busy. And she's married to Al Borland from Tool Time. Or it's just a boyfriend or whatever. Oh, I know these things. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She's smiling. You're just like, ah. And he's just like, yeah. It's like, shit. I didn't know there were other people out there in this world that didn't smile in pictures. not even like a cheesy, showing your teeth grin, a shit-eating grin. It's just nothing. So I was like, you mean you're telling me I had a shot the whole damn time? She likes guys with, no personalities? Which is actually not true. I've actually got wicked personality. It's just a very select few people get to see it. And Mrs. Poop Emoji was one of them. Just, what do you want, woman? Anyway, those days are long gone. Prank calls, though, for sure. Let's get it on the list. I'll write it in my, note planner. Prank call, Mrs. Poop Emoji. So that'll be one thing. The breathing. This is her boyfriend. No, her other boyfriend. Sometimes it'll just be a hang up. I'll buy one of them air horns that you can buy, like they take them to sports games, the ones that go. Oh, I'm a fucking genius. Although if I don't know if she would still be a secret fan. Like, well, shit. So much for that. But I'm gonna do it anyway. And buy like a noisemaker, so it's like a burp. So I couldn't, burp on command, but like, hey, shit. And other times I'll be like, this is Chili Willy Milli Vanilli, and you have been selected as one of our, I'll write this shit down so I can like follow the script. You've been selected for our test trial, How would you like to make an extra $10 a week testing, blah, 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 dog repellent. I'm not saying you're a dog, and I'm not saying you're repelling, but... Who was that fucking man? He hasn't worked here for a year. He prank calls me once a month. What, does he like you or something? Probably not. But anyway. Damn dog. I just might do that. Right, yeah.